We couldn't have made Euphoria in '96 as much as we may have liked to have done. It just wasn't the right time. A lot of the '90s stuff's been very bland or very dark. And we wanted to make something that wasn't bland and wasn't dark. And after 7 years away from that sound and nobody else is doing it anymore, we almost become the alternative. And it just felt right to make a record where a band like us can re-embrace who we are, not be embarrassed about it, feel good about it, in fact, and write songs and play our instruments, which became very unfashionable in the mid-90s. So to actually be able to write a song wasn't cool. To be able to play your instrument wasn't cool. It all had to be attitude. And I think you can have all three. You know, with this record, it's a classic Def Leppard record, and this is what we're good at doing. And it's a great record. There's some, you know, Slang, there was a lot of individualistic songwriting going on. Very few collaborations. On this record, the whole thing is a collaboration. So it's obviously much more of a collective thing. Vivian's written a lot more on this record than he did on the previous one, and everybody got involved, and we recorded it the way that we've always recorded the classic sounding records in the past, which is a lot of layering, a lot of multi-tracking, a lot of stuff doing it individually, just creating upwards and emphasis on the song. And then whatever needs to happen, happens.
This is certainly the first one where it's a real Def Leppard record, where I got to become part of or witness how Def Leppard creates from the ground up, how the whole songwriting mindset. Like Joe said on the last record, Slang was, you know, we didn't really know too much about what we were wanting to do. We just knew we weren't making a Def Leppard record as they had been made in the past. And, you know, we all came in individually with songs, and we just sort of basically recorded them, you know, very much in a live manner, and this record was totally different. So for me, I feel it's like my first real experience of what the Def Leppard method is.
I think that this is a very brave record for us to make, more so than Slang was. Slang was deemed a brave record because we jumped off our own bandwagon onto an unknown plateau or whatever. We've actually gone back, or moved back into a classic Leppard thing, where a lot of people think that's a very backward move. To us, it's not. It's a very forward move. You know, I think this is a much braver record to make than the last album was. I like the songs. I like the fact that we've actually produced an album that many people think Mutt did, just because he was involved in the first three songs, which is just from an own personal point of view. I think it's nice that we've actually learnt the ability between ourselves and Pete Woodruff to make a record that sounds as big as like the traditional Def Leppard sound, or whatever, and do it on our own, which means that we have learned something, which to me is great, because the learning curve should be a continuous thing. I don't think you ever know enough. In fact, the more you know, the less you know. It's nice to think that you can be making better records the further into your career rather than going downhill. So I love it to death. I think it's great. I think it's perfect for now. It's achieving something greater than what you've achieved before, whether it be a better performance, a better song. Always trying to better what you've done in the past, not living off the past. We don't look back until we're asked about it in interviews. We're always looking what's next, because we've done that, and that's it. It's over. So let's move on. What's next? We put a lot of hard work in. As much as a lot of people out there think that rock and roll is just an easy way out, we've worked harder, probably in the last 2 years, when people have been wondering where we are, than we would have done if we'd just been in day jobs for 15, 20 years. But you're working for yourself, so you don't mind. You know, you're not working for the man. You're working for yourself, and you're always prepared to put more hours in if it's your own little baby, you know. And this is ours. This is our thing. And
yeah, the payoff is we're still around after, you know, 20 years.
Yeah.
It's a great time. It's a really good time for us. Everybody seems really settled. You know, we like each other, I think. It's good.
I think we do.
a single thing, darling, that you can't believe. You gotta believe me.